for this project, you're gonna need some embroidery floss, uh, a pair of tweezers. I'm using a 1.75 millimeter hook today, an embroidery needle, a pair of scissors, uh, and then you're gonna need an earring hook and a clasp. You're actually gonna need two clasps. But those are the required materials for today. So let's get started. I'm using the Coats and Clark yarn. I think I just got this at Walmart, honestly. But I know that a lot of different craft stores have them. Um, so yeah. But really, you can do this project with any type of yarn. Just keep in mind that the thicker the yarn, the larger the project is going to be. All right, so we're going to first and foremost start out with a magic ring. Place the string over your hand. I like to have my thumb hold it, wrap it around to your fingers, cross over to make that X, and then I grab it with my pinky to secure it. And then I take my hook and I go under the first loop. I grab the second, come up and twist. And then I'll pinch this right here, wiggle my fingers out. And then you're going to chain one. So yarn over, pull through. That'll just secure your magic ring. Now we're going to insert 5 single crochets into the magic ring. And to do that, you're going to stick your hook through the circle, come up, yarn over and grab that yarn, pull through. So you have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through 2. That's 1 single crochet. Now we're going to do 4 more. So put it through the circle, yarn over, pull up, yarn, oop, yarn over, and pull through 2. 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I have found, it's tempting to want to cut this string shorter. Leave a dangle for the earrings because we're going to sew it back in at the end with a tapestry needle. And if it's too short, then that needle is not going to be able to thread it for you. So just leave for dangling. You'll just have to be careful. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to chain one. So yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to turn our work. All right. Now we're going to enter in a single crochet in this very first stitch right here. So same thing as with the circle for a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook into the space, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now you have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. There we go. That was the first one. Now in this next stitch right here, we're going to put 2 single crochets in this one stitch. That's called an increase. So stick your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're going to go back into that same spot that you just did previous. You're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through 2. That's an increase. Then you're going to do another single crochet in this next stitch, just one. All right. And then in this next stitch, you're going to do another increase. So that's 2 single crochets in this one stitch. That's 1. Go back into the same spot. That's 2. All right, and then you should be in the last stitch of the row. So you're just going to put 1 single crochet right there. All right. And then you're going to chain 1, and turn your work. And then we're going to put a single crochet in this stitch, very beginning stitch. So insert that hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. In the next stitch, you're going to do another single crochet. And in the following stitch, this one right here is going to be 2 single crochets in this one stitch. So an increase, all right? So single crochet in this next stitch first and foremost. And then this is the one with the increase. So you're going to yarn up, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through, go back into the same space, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, another single crochet in the following stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the following stitch, if that makes sense. So it's kind of following that pattern of 2 single crochets, then an increase, 2 single crochets, then an increase. And you should end up with just one singular single crochet in that last stitch. So for this next stitch, it's just one single crochet. The next stitch is just one single crochet. This is the increase right here. And then put your hook right back where you came from. There we go. And last stitch in the round, just one single increase. Oop. There she is. Lost her for a moment. All right, and same as before, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now, as the pattern before, it's going to essentially get just a little bit bigger every time. So it's going to be a single crochet in the first stitch. The second stitch is just one single crochet. The third stitch is just one single crochet. That fourth stitch has the increase. And then once you've done that, repeat the pattern. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then increase. All right, and then start the pattern over again. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then this is the increase right here. All right, and then that last stitch in the row is just one single crochet. Oh, sorry, once you have finished the last single crochet in this round, what we're going to do is switch colors to the white. So I'm going to fasten off. I'm going to give myself a pretty good distance, like I said earlier, to make sure that the tapestry needle will allow you to kind of sew it back in at the end. And what you're essentially going to do is just take it, lay it over the hook like this, and pinch that, and you're just going to pull it through. So the white is going to act as the chain 1 in this round, like pulling it through. So same as before, we're going to go into that same stitch, that very first stitch. However, now we're going to do 4 single crochets. One single crochet in the next 4 stitches. On that 5th stitch, that's the increase. And then you're going to repeat the pattern again. So we're going to insert our hook. Make sure that string stays out of there. Put that on my ring. All right, and then yarn over, pull up that loop, and pull through 2. So that's the first single crochet in this round. Next one, 2 single crochets. Here's the third. Here's the fourth. So we just did 4 single crochets, 1 for every stitch. The 5th stitch is the increase, so you're going to put 2 single crochets into this 5th stitch. That was 1. This is 2. Now we're just going to repeat the pattern of, in the next 4 stitches, 1 single crochet per stitch. And then on that 5th stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochets in that same stitch, so the increase. And you'll end the round with a single crochet. And I will meet you back there. All right, so I have just completed the last stitch in the row, and the same thing, we're going to switch back to yellow. So exactly what we did last time, I'm going to trim the white yarn, fasten off, give yourself a decently sized tail, and just like before, you're going to pull it through, and that's going to act as your chain 1 for this one. Pull that tight. All right, and then same thing. Now we're doing 5 single crochets, 1 per stitch. On that 6th stitch, that's the increase, and then you're going to repeat the pattern. So insert your hook into that starting stitch, yarn over and pull through. And as I was saying before, if it's a little loose, you can just pull that yellow and that white and it'll just tighten it up for you. So you don't have to worry about it going anywhere. So that was 1 single crochet. Now we're going to do in the next stitch 1 single crochet. Next single crochet. This is the 4th stitch, so a single crochet. 5th stitch, single crochet. And then this next stitch right here is the increase. So that's 1, and that's 2. Now you're just going to repeat the pattern. You're going to do in the next 6 stitches 1 single crochet per stitch. Then the second to last one, the 6th stitch in the row. Sorry, I might have messed that up earlier. In the next 5 stitches, 1 single crochet per stitch. On the 6th stitch, which is also the second to last in the row, you're going to do an increase, ending with just a single crochet as every other round. And I will meet you back there when we reach the end. All right, so we're at the end of the round, and I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm actually going to fasten off. So give yourself some good distance right here. Take my yellow yarn off. And then you're just basically going to pull that string through. It's going to create a nice little knot, a stationary knot for you. Then it'll just all stay in place. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to thread in our ends. And to do that, this is where the handy dandy tapestry needle comes into play. And before you start weaving everything in, I like to choose my favorite side. So I think this side is my favorite. So I'm going to say that this back side is going to be where I'm going to weave in all my ends. Now I'm going to start out with this yellow one right here. I'm going to just give you a little space. You don't need to like do a bunch because it is really small, but I make sure to weave in yellow ends on yellow and then white ends on white. So just to keep it hidden, make sure everything looks very nice and sleek. That's what I'll do. So I just thread in my ends, and there's no specific way to do that other than I just keep the yellow ends on yellow. So I'll just even do that and then pull it through. The nice thing is because they're earrings, like it's not make or break really. It stays pretty still. Then I'll just snip off the end. Nothing too crazy. And then you just do the same thing for all the other ends. And I will meet you back when I finish threading in my ends. All right, so we are almost done. The last thing that we're going to do is just add in that finishing detail. And you're going to just cut a decent piece of string of white, the white colored string. You don't need too much, but we're going to grab the embroidery needle and thread the white on there. There we go. And this is the side that I like. This is the back side. So you're going to insert your needle through the back up to the front, and it's going to be in that initial magic ring circle that you made. So you're going to pull up through there. And then I leave a decent sized tail at the end so that, everything's cool and it's not going to go anywhere. So you're also going to, all right, so now we have it up through. You're going to go to the edge of the white. That's where you're going to be working throughout, making the separation parts of the lemon slice. You're going to go up to the border of the white. So I'm going to start on this side, and I will go right below. So it'll be like right here. And pull that over. You don't want to pull it super tight to like change the design of, or like the shape of your slice, but just make sure it's snug. Then you're going to come back up through that magic circle space. And pull that through pretty snug. Then you're going to give it like a decent distance, I would say, from this initial one. So like maybe like right here or right here, somewhere right there. And then go right here. Pull that snug. Come up through the center again. Pull it snug. All right, and then I'm going to go right there. And then just be careful not to grab the initial starting string down here that you had. Like, just keep it separated. Don't want it to get twisted because that will be annoying as heck if it does. Come back up through the center. I think right here would be good. That'll let me poke through. Might give you a little bit of a fight, but you can win. You're a strong person. And then I'm on my last one that I'm going to do, which is coming up through the center. Making sure everything's snug. And then you're just going to mirror the last spot that you want to go into. Pull that snug. Now here's the kicker though. You're going to still go back up through here, through the center, and pull up, right? And then you're going to go through around and around a few times just to help with the look, honestly, of the pit of it, but it's really to secure it. It's twofold, you know? It's for the fruit aesthetic as well. But you know. And then I'm gonna go back here where I have made where I had made the previous like pieces go through. And I'm gonna go underneath this middle one right here and pull the string through because it's going to like pull it backwards just to make sure it doesn't show up front. And then I'm gonna take it and create like a knot, if you will. So it's just gonna hold everything in place. So I'm gonna weave in the white up here, um, or on the sides as much as I possibly can. And then I'll just cut off my ends. But I feel like it's safe to say that it's not gonna go anywhere. It is time to do the earring attachment. So you have your earring hook. I hope you can see that. The little earring hook. And then you're gonna need two little clasps. Doesn't really matter what size, but you will need two of them if your hook looks, well, let me see if I can get it to focus. If your hook looks like that, you're gonna need two of them. Um, so I'm just gonna drop two on the desk there. And don't come for me, but I just have regular beauty tweezers because I'm resourceful and I use what is in my house most of the time if I can. Anyways, so I'm doing it with the orange slice. So I made the orange slice earring. This is going to be for the left ear. So I had the flat part facing my head and the round facing outwards. So because of that, I'm going to do the opposite for the other side. So that way it kind of does this little number like that. So I want the top of my wedge on this side. But for you guys, it's really just your preference. That's completely your preference. Some people might even want it like dangling a little off to the side. That is totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. It's customizable, which is why it's fun. So I'm going to hold it like this. And what I like to do first is to put the clasp on the earring part itself, like the little charm. So I'm just going to stick it through the top of one of the single crochets. It's typically the closest one to, it's the first one in the round. And then I close it. Hopefully yours doesn't give you stress, but mine has, because I feel like that's just the way of things. It's always when I'm filming a video. I did the other one. It was perfect. There were no issues. There we go. But of course, like when I'm recording, it's going to look different. I'm going to do it differently. Anyways, so the first one is on like that. The second one, I will just hook it on and I let it dangle. And then you have to picture it going into your, like, you have to be mindful about which way you attach the earring part. So it's going to go into your earring. So make sure that the hook is facing away from you as you attach that onto this little clasp. I just let that dangle as well. Then I'll pinch them at the bottom so that way I can close this top little part right here. And there you have it. Here are your adorable little earrings. Whether or not you made them both identical or you guys did an orange and a lemon, I hope you guys enjoyed making these with me today.